Inside the cavernous San Francisco center, the shops are closed, the escalators are empty, and the mall is preparing for its last day nearly 20 years after a fanfare opening. And only one shop, 1.5 million square feet of retail space, and the only store open seems to be the Echo shoe store. Newcomers to the city who haven't been following the mall's slow decline were surprised at how empty it was.
It was pretty lame going in there, I'm not gonna lie. I saw all these locations on the map and I kind of got emotional. I was like, wow, there's a lot of places in there. But then when I go in there, it's all dead. There's no restaurants, no stores. It was all just empty.
Some visitors remembered the movie theaters or the food court as destinations for teens throughout the city. Question now is, what comes next? So far, there's no definitive answer for what will become of this mid-market monument. Mayor Daniel Lurie said he's working to make it easy for that future to unfold.
There are people that want to go into that incredible space, so I am not concerned about big ideas, great ideas coming in. They're happening. I just have to continue to create the conditions for that mall to succeed.
After nearly 40 years as San Francisco's largest shopping mall destination, San Francisco Center permanently closed its doors today. What was once a bustling hub of retail activity has become a symbol of the broader collapse of brick-and-mortar shopping and a cautionary tale about what happens when national trends collide with urban decay. Let's get into it. Let's cover some of our most famous memories and podcasts of this shopping mall. Here we go. We just recently covered this one. Panda Express, the last restaurant, San Francisco's largest mall, has closed. We've gone through this long list. I don't know how many businesses that we have covered that have closed from this mall. But I mean, it's an impressive list. You've got Bloomingdale's, you've got Macy's, you've got just about every single conceivable, store that you'd find in an upscale mall has all gone. Now, what folks aren't talking about is the reason this mall in particular closed. And let's be brutally honest, it had a terrible location. It had a whole bunch of people coming into the mall that didn't make the mall experience great. And on top of that, you've got the whole retail shopping mall basically absolutely bottoming out because people are buying more stuff online. So if they have to go to a mall that is known for a 400% increase in human excrement in the elevator system, they're probably going to buy from Amazon. And if you think I'm joking about that, here we go. Yeah. Human waste increasingly found in downtown San Francisco mall elevators. Let's listen to that. Knowing what we know now, let's listen to these guys just kind of absolutely bumble through this. Here we go.
Shoppers are getting a foul surprise sometimes at San Francisco's Westfield Mall. It's human waste. Joining us live now is reporter for the San Francisco Standard, 𝗪𝗟𝗧𝗪, who explored the unpleasant situation. 𝗪𝗟𝗧𝗪, your article today uncovers how it's becoming an increasing problem. You spoke with those with the unpleasant task of having to clean up the stuff. You talked to the janitors. All right, thanks for joining us. How big of a problem is finding human waste on the elevators at Westfield? Is it elevators? Elevators, right?
That's right. It's elevators. Specifically, it's the elevators that are actually on the Mission Street side where I've heard complaints, not only from the one of the supervisors who oversees the custodial team at the mall, but also half a dozen workers, both at the Bloomingdale's and at the movie theater above. But it's happening in these two elevators which are on the Mission Street side. And according to that
Mission Street being the main drag, north of Mission Street, across the street, is basically the Tenderloin. So you got a whole bunch of homeless people going to the mall because they've got public restrooms. Oh, they just took a bunch of meth. Oh, they just did a bunch of fentanyl, and they can't make it to the restroom. So, well, we're in a closed area. Might catch me on closed caption TV, but I gotta go. And so that's what they do.
Supervisor who oversees the janitors that I mentioned. It used to be happening around once a month, but now lately he's seen it happen more like twice in a week on average.
Twice a week. Okay.
Oh, that is all you need to know right there, right? That's just so disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Now, things have gotten better for San Francisco. San Francisco has done, Daniel Lurie, new mayor, he's been in there a year now. He has really honed in on homelessness. If you look at some of his policies, San Francisco is going to be so much better off than Seattle, so much better off than Portland. But Seattle is going to be the worst because we've got a new socialist mayor. Portland's still just on the struggle bus. They can't work their way out of anything. San Francisco is going down the right roads. It's got a massive uphill battle because it's had enormous amounts of the homelessness. And when you combine that with economics that say this mall is basically done, there's just this vortex of energy taking all these businesses out. And that's what's happened. San Francisco's biggest mall is officially closing. They closed a day early, which is I found that to be very interesting. It's like, okay, we're not going to give people that one last shopping day of, doing their thing. We've already seen some of these clips here. BART entrance sealed off at San Francisco Center's official closing date for mall arrives this week. Lights officially go off after the weekend, downtown San Francisco, and they officially went off on Sunday. Boys and girls, we got no more stores in here. Panda Express is gone. Closed. Cerrado. Marking a final death knell following a very long, slow, and painful demise. I don't know how many podcasts I have done on this mall, but I would bet you 6, 7, 8, something like that. We might be in double digits. It's a bunch. And so going back just a little bit, what we had Westfield Center. Westfield basically gave the keys back to the lender. They kind of did like a commercial deed in lieu of foreclosure. Hey, you take it. We don't want any more of our North American malls. We want out. And so they just basically are sticking with their flagship malls. And that left Westfield Center Mall back with the lender. Now, went to foreclosure court. It had a foreclosure sale. And the judge said, essentially, nobody's bidding on this bad boy. So we're just going to, the lender essentially gets it. See, it didn't even have a sale. So now the mall is being marketed. They're trying to market the mall to whomever will take it. And here's where they basically started closing down the BART, Bay Area Rapid Transit, right? You've got, you got the metro. You've got the public transit dropping off people. They started shutting those access way into the mall last week. So this has been coming for a long time, but I don't think anybody really kind of expected it to just, happen, and a day early, at best as well. Yeah, here we go. San Francisco's largest shopping mall closes early. But you know what? Why wouldn't it? Why wouldn't it? You got all the stores out. You had the basically mall management sue all the remaining stores. You guys got to go, including pesky Panda Express, because they just wouldn't quit. All the businesses left. And now they're basically wanting to turn off, the necessary utilities. You certainly don't need lights on throughout the mall. You don't need that heat cranked up. You need minimum. And you don't need all that security wandering around an empty mall that has no businesses in it, only people looking to do shenanigans. And we haven't even touched on shoplifting. So you had massive shoplifting. You had crazy people running around the outside in an area where it's been, touchy at best. And for a retail establishment like the largest mall in San Francisco, it just absolutely took it on the chin and has been for years and years. And this is how you end up. So San Francisco trying to make a comeback, but at the same time, you're going to have impacts like this happen over and over and over because, the conditions for businesses have been horrible for a long time. Till you get that squared away, yeah, you're not going to have a lot of businesses going, oh yeah, we want in that 1.5 million square foot mall. We're there. We need to be part of that. Here's yet another one of the podcasts we did. San Francisco Mall foreclosing, how Westfield Center plummeted from $1.2 billion to $133 million. Now, the interesting thing about the $133 million, and that was basically a credit sale from the foreclosure court. They said, well, nobody bought it. Nobody offered anything at the foreclosure auction. Therefore, you guys have about, $625 million in outstanding debt owed to you? Going to give you a credit sale, meaning, well, we're going to put it on the books at $133 million, but that's not what the mall's value was. The mall's value is less than that because otherwise it would have sold. It's kind of like an active listing. An active listing is the top number somebody asks for a property until it closes. And then whatever that number is, which is typically less, right? A little bit less. That's what the real worth of the home is. If it was worth what they were asking, it'll be sold. That's kind of that's the logic there. But yeah, $1.2 billion to $1.33 billion. Just an absolute plummet in value. Nuts. So the real question is, what happens to the mall? What's somebody going to do with the mall? Everybody's saying, make it into housing. Well, this is 1.5 million square feet of retail space. Retail space is laid out wildly different than housing. Housing, kind of important to have, normal doors and normal windows. People can kind of look out. You've got all this interior space that if you cut it up into 500 square foot studios or whatever you cut it up into, it's just going to be atrocious. It's just, it doesn't work. And the economics on these retrofitting of commercial into residential, simply the numbers don't work. Even if you are given the mall, you have to put so much money in, you'd be better off taking a vacant piece of property and developing it from scratch. Putting in the right foundation, not a foundation for a massive parking garage and a massive, massive mall, 1.5 million square feet. It's enormous with all these elevators and food courts and, all kinds of crazy plumbing and stuff that you don't need on the residential side, whether it's gas or, venting and all that stuff that you have at the mall, let alone the roof structure. I mean, who's gonna want to buy this? That's the big question. Daniel Lurie is saying, hey, we're going to work with whomever to make this happen because he's got a massive, massive albatross on his hands. And this thing is going to stand as a testament to the downfall of San Francisco for as long as it sits vacant. It's just basically a permanent structure until it gets changed up, a permanent structure of San Francisco's failure. San Francisco's leadership doesn't want that staring them in the face every day because it's a reminder of, hey, a bunch of progressives ran San Fran into the ground. This is what happens. So moving forward, does it get mowed down? Does it get turned into a soccer stadium? Remember when Mayor Breed said, let's make a soccer stadium out of it? Okay. At this point in time, it's like, why not? Vacant mall, you might as well get some kind of use out of it somehow. But it is just such a large, large structure that it's not going to be turned around to any, Joe Blow coming in and I think I'll just change this up to residential housing. It should be a piece of cake. Not happening. Not happening. Extremely limited use with the structure that you have on there now, because otherwise people would be buying up malls all across the United States and turning them into whatever. Bikini barista stands, housing, affordable housing. We need more affordable housing. Yeah, well, you're better off building that from scratch. Just the way it goes as this story develops, and it will, because something's got to happen to this mall. Make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell. I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for joining. If you've watched all my podcasts on this mall, thanks so much for being there. It's been an epic run. Sad to see the mall go down, but that's what happens when your policy doesn't match up with reality. Yeah. See you in the next one. Bye for now.